I'm back, baby. Coming to you from Burnaby. So, from what I've heard, guys, a lot of the production in Hollywood is just up and leaving. They're going somewhere cheaper. Apparently, you didn't hear it from me, but like $300 million budgets, for a movie, and then having it flop in a cinema probably isn't the greatest business model, guys. I missed my word there, but that's what I meant. That's probably not the greatest. But also, that isn't even new. Everybody knows production companies typically go to cheaper places for tax incentives. Dollar is a lot cheaper over here in Canada, for example. Vancouver is known as Hollywood North for that reason. So there's that. So it's not really that. It's not new news.
You have way too much pubic hair.
This is typically what happens whenever there's right now, a lot of economic upheaval. So it's a little cheaper over here. Maybe there's tax incentives. Also, the whole model, behind making movies, films, cinemas, television shows has changed, hasn't it? Yeah. Although for streaming services, yes, but for big film, people still they want to go see a movie. They still go to a cinema for that reason. Or even on a streaming service, they'd still pay to see it in their home amongst themselves or family. So you still need big budget stars to draw in audiences. I'm gonna go into the star system and how that works. Studios essentially they invest in an actor or actress, right? And this person essentially creates characters for people to go and watch. Because people go see a movie for these actors. The difference between theater and let's say cinema, right? And if you're gonna go to a theater watch a play, it's limited essentially by setting. You're just one setting. You do the best you can, and it's live. So there's that too, right? We'll do it live, guys. We'll do it live.
Do it live!
That's the thing. Because it's live, there's a lot of emphasis on the actor or actress trying to essentially become this other thing. If that makes sense. If that makes any sense. Okay? So the difference between theater and cinema, theater or film is not only in the way a character is portrayed, right? Because you go to a theater, it's live play. So the actor or actress really does have to make you believe that there's this other person. Also, there aren't different takes. They don't have the benefit of creating this portrayal in a setting behind a camera and then doing multiple takes multiple times at different times and then doing it in a way where they're trying to think how it's going to look like to you later on. That's the difference, right? That's a big difference. Which means if you're going to go watch a movie or a film, TV series, a big name actor is essentially a person who's almost the same person in every movie. Who that is. For example, the most obvious one is Denzel Washington, right? Everybody knows his mannerisms, the way he acts in every movie. There's a little bit of him in every single role. So oh, that's Denzel, because he does that thing. It's a Denzel thing to do. Or Will Smith, the way he acts, or Tom Cruise, There's almost parodies of them or memes, but essentially that's what it is, because that's who you're gonna go see. Whereas in a play, it's not so much as the actor. You're not going, that's not the draw. You're going there to see the play, the story, that's essentially it. The story, the play, the playwright. It's more of an emphasis on you trying to be you're trying to lose who that is, right? The actor on stage, and really like become immersed in whatever story they're trying to give you, because they're limited, right? They're limited by the fact they're on a stage. There's only so many settings they can create, and it's live. You know, they'll do it live. Whereas like a film, it's very different. It's a different way to interact with a story. You know, it's very different. The way you're trying to think of how this is going to look in the future, you know, to an audience member. Yeah, it is very, very different. But also, it also means then, like, as a studio, right, when you're making like a movie or a film, you're gonna want to invest in like these stars, you know, because then they become these big names, right? But then it means other studios can use them almost like assets. It's like these big time stars become assets for all these studios, so then could then use them in their films as a draw, which is kind of crazy if you think about it that way, though. Like they're assets, these big name blockbuster names, because like there's put all this work into them, into creating this entity that's like a draw, you know, for they become like a name, a household name. It's kind of crazy if you think about that. Assets. And then you have these characters that they create too, those are also assets. But then you get into the problem of like, yeah, they become these big draws, but then now they have a lot of leverage, these actors and actresses, right, against these studios. So they're gonna be like, okay, well, I mean, if I'm bringing in all these people and all these, then I'm probably entitled to a fat check, you know, which makes sense, you know, if these movies are just like bringing in like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Yeah, then this person definitely deserves an $80 million, like a $50 million check, 20 million. You know, it makes a lot of sense. But that was then, you know. Today, things are a little different. It is interesting to see if that model will change. You know, the draw. But I don't know if it's gonna, because you get flops sometimes, right? Like if this, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like an accountant or work in that field, but I'm pretty sure sometimes you get movies that are like they just don't. Maybe they just break even, you know? Yeah. Or maybe I'm wrong, you know? I'm just talking out of my butt. How much is like a big like a blockbuster actor or actress like worth now when you have all these different platforms, all these different types of films, not even like locally, but internationally too. You know, you're competing with those markets too. Hmm. And I mean, whoever's like famous here doesn't mean they're famous over there. However, it is interesting to note though. I mean, let's say, for example, like a cultural slogan that no matter where you go in the world, people know what you're talking about. Hasta la vista, baby. You know, like everybody knows what that is. Even in countries where they don't even like speak the same language, completely different, they know what that saying is. They know Terminator. You'll see like a poster for Terminator in the middle of nowhere, for example, some backwater village, and you'll see that poster. You know, some kid and nothing but like sandals and a Michael Jordan jersey from like 1982 or something. He's gonna know what that slogan is, you know? So there's that too. So even though they are big names and they are very expensive, they sort of are like pushing out a little bit of like the culture, you know, a little bit of what that is out into the world. So they become like they're almost like the tip of the spear when it comes to like exporting whatever that is, you know, whatever our values are. Well, it's usually consumerism. I mean, it's kind of tied into like media and you know products, the things that you buy. I'm just rambling right now. But it's interesting though, like how like what the star system was or is, and what that means now when like everybody can sort of like point and shoot, you know? I mean, there's like movies that have been just filmed on like phones. I mean, they're not obviously like the best. Well, you're limited obviously in terms of like budget and stuff, but it does kind of like make you wonder like how that's going to change and what that's going to look like, and then how that's going to affect the way we export, for example, some of these cultural artifacts, out into the world. Hmm. And the type of people you need to do that, you know? That's, or maybe you don't even need it anymore. Maybe we don't really need blockbuster actors when everybody's sort of doing it already, right through this. Everybody's sort of exporting those values, I mean, you're using technology, devices that sort of come from a certain way of thinking, the way how we do things, Hmm. So maybe we're already doing it, for like pennies on the dollar. You don't necessarily need billionaire actors to do it. Or we could like, I mean, the other model is like you just get no-name actors and then put them in like franchises that already have like a draw to them just because like the legacy they hold. There's that too. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting stuff, eh? What that means, what that's gonna look like. Yeah. But
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
back to Wakanda. Not even go back, but like I mentioned Wakanda. I mentioned buggery in my first video coming back, and how I was trying to like relate that to like Wakanda. I don't think I mentioned it, but I feel like buggery. That's what defeated Wakanda, because like they don't do a lot of butt stuff in Wakanda. They frown upon it. Hmm. What if that's the only way to defeat our enemies is through buggery? I mean, if you were to ask someone just how much like they love their country, and all the things they stand for, how far would they go, you know, to defeat like the people who threaten our way of life and stuff, the villains, if you will. Yeah. But then it makes you wonder though, if buggery defeats Wakanda, is Wakanda the good guys? It makes you wonder. If buggery is frowned upon in Wakanda, guys, and we're all about buggery here in the West, is Wakanda the good guys? Makes you wonder, guys. Makes you wonder. Yeah. Or even in Aladdin, they probably frowned upon buggery in Aladdin as well. Pretty sure those guys weren't into butt stuff either. Or Under the Sea, Little Mermaid. I'm pretty sure, judging by Sebastian's, accent, the way he would sing around and stuff, I don't think that guy's a big fan of buggery either. So yeah, maybe buggery is the way we defeat the Wakandans, guys. Wouldn't that be a twist, eh? They were the bad guys this whole time. But yeah, that's all. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I got here anyways. Buggery and Wakanda, yay or nay? Yeah. I would say yay. How far would you go, How far would you go? That was a butthole, isn't it? Anyways, I mean, I was thinking of a segment. Well, this is gonna be a new segment. It's called character analysis. Character that I'm gonna be analyzing, if you will, right? Is, I believe her name is Ursula. Yeah. Ursula is a character in The Little Mermaid. She is the octopus, I believe, right? Let me just confirm this with my AI. Ursula was based on a drag queen by the name of Divine. Now, Divine the Drag Queen was actually a character in a movie called The Pink Flamingos. And if you're familiar with that movie, you know how nasty and dirty that movie was, guys. I mean, it's all types of nastiness. Like, you got scatology, you know, poo-poo stuff. You got like gluttony, sodomy, you know, all the stuff they don't want to teach you in school was in that movie. And it's funny because like Ursula was a character in The Little Mermaid, and they based that character on this like rated R thing that most kids just didn't have access to or had any idea or any reference to. You know, it's just kind of funny. But the reason why I chose Ursula is because like it's funny how as like a large, vivacious woman, you know, she was seen as this like evil entity compared to Ariel, you know, Little Mermaid. Because Ariel's like this like sweet little petite young girl, you know, and Ursula's like this large, uh, big boned, if you will, woman, you know? And they characterize her as this like evil thing, taking advantage of this like poor, sweet, innocent, you know, little Ariel. Yeah. I mean, one of the characteristics that Ursula had though was that she was a shapeshifter, which is why I'm very like interested. Very, it piqued my interest. The fact that she can like sort of like be whatever she wanted, you know? Because like in most stories, I find like most movies, series, cartoons, shows, shapeshifters are always the ones that are seen as like you just can't trust them, you know, because there's something creepy about an entity that can pretend to be something else and just fool you. You know, you just wouldn't know. Yeah, could you imagine just like you walk into your house one day and it turns out like your spouse or significant other is like a it's not even who you think it is. You know, it's another person pretending to be that person. Like the talented Mr. Ripley. Well, that's a little different because like he takes on the identity of a different person. But it's the same thing, you know, like a person who just pretends to be another person. They're just not who you think they are. Either physically or just like identity wise too, you know, like identity theft. That's a weird one too. Ursula. Yeah, I remember like she would like prey on like the hopes and dreams of other people, you know? And then like offer them so I mean she would grant a wish, but it would come at an expense of some sort, you know? She's almost like a what's the word that I'm looking for here? Like you know those people who like debtors or something, you know, like they're gonna offer you like they know you're desperate and then they give you the thing you need, but it's gonna cost you like a pound of your flesh, you're just not aware of it, you know? Ursula. Even the name Ursula just conjures up like evil, you know? Ursula. Ursula. Doesn't sounds Ursula. I don't know. Yeah, her physical characteristics, you know. It kind of sucks because like they characterize her as bad just because she's like a bigger woman, you know. And then she's like and what's strange is that out of all the things she can shapeshift into, she decides to be an octopus. Why an octopus though? Like why is he? Because I guess it has like a bunch of tentacles. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because she sucks on people. You know, she ensnares people in her like tentacle-like legs because there's like 8 of them, you know? So that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But she was like a big boned, like happy woman though, you know? I wonder why she was so she seems like someone who could like cook you up a really good meal. You know? Like if you like wanted to know if you were like under the sea, you know, and you like, hey, like what's a good place to eat at under the sea, you know? Ursula would be the person you talk to, just because like it looks like she's well fed, you know? I don't know. Yeah, under the sea. Ursula though. Yeah, it is wild though how it was like based on a character, Divine, you know, the drag drag queen from Pink Flamingos. I remember seeing that movie like just like years ago when I was, I mean, not fairly young. I was maybe like my late teens. But yeah, it is a nasty, nasty movie. Yeah, and it's wild how that's like based on that character. Hmm. Drag queen. Oh, which is crazy because like shapeshifting, drag queens are also they also portray themselves to viewers or audiences in a way they actually aren't. You know, I mean, they're put on a get up, makeup. You know, they got like a costume on, and they try to portray themselves as something they're really not. You know, but that's more for entertainment purposes. It's meant to deceive you, but you kind of know what you're getting. You know, when you go to a drag show, you know all the drag contestants are there for entertainment. You know, they're not there to like trick you. You know, I mean, they sort of are, but you kind of know what you're getting into. Yeah. Whereas like a shapeshifter, hmm, a shapeshifter is like someone you just don't know, and they really are portraying something else, but you're just not aware of it. That's why it's so eerie and creepy. You know. I mean, chameleons are sort of like that too. You know, they blend into their surroundings, but they do that in a way where they don't want to be seen. Whereas a shapeshifter takes on like the role of another person. You know, they transform into something else. You know, that isn't them, but you think it's them. Hmm. What's that other one? There's like a famous one from is it Nightcrawler? Remember X-Men? Mystique. Ooh, Mystique. Yeah, Mystique was just she was something, eh? Jennifer Lawrence, you know? That skin tight suit on just that curve. Like Jennifer Lawrence has one of those bodies that are just like she has like a perfect hourglass, you know, like she's a little thick, you know, where you need it, you know, and then she's just so and she has like full cheeks because she eats food, you know. She's just so beautiful. Just the way her back just goes into. I sound so creepy right now, but as I was saying, shapeshifters, you know, like there's something about them, you know. People just get freaked out by it. The idea that there's another example of one. What's the other one? Well, not shapeshifters, but like it's like someone. Well, there's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Was it the astronaut's wife? Was that one too? Like he leaves, goes into space, comes back. She begins to wonder like, is this the same guy? Is this the same person? What's another one? Well, there's Animorphs. You know, for some of the people, some of the adults out there. Remember that as a child, you know, like they would these adults or children would like morph into animals of some sort. There's that. Another shapeshifter, skinwalkers. But I'm going on like a tangent here. Like as I was getting back to Ursula, you know, because I was looking at like the characteristics, her behavior, why she is like why they portray her the way she does in The Little Mermaid. You know, as a uh, large boned woman, if you will. You know, taking advantage of sweet old skinny Ariel. You know? Yeah, and she takes in the form of the octopus too. Remember, like, and of all the things she could like shapeshift into, like, why? Unless that's her true form, and that's who she really is. Yeah. Let's get some Vogue shots. Vogue, 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 Vogue. Yeah. I'm gonna put up random photos of celebs. So random, and I'm gonna see if I know who this person is. Random celebrity generator. Okay. So let's see what we got here. We're gonna choose gender. All right, we're gonna go with male. Male it is. Actually, you know what? Let me go with female. I'm feeling a little progressive today. You know? Did a bit of a cold plunge in the pool. Not the pool, but the ocean. It rerouted me to Sleep Country, Canada. You know, that's not where I want to be. A nice Tempur-Pedic mattress. That's nice. But here we are. Okay, so we're gonna go with female. Choose category. We'll go with. Oh, we got. Let's look at that. They give us business, movies and entertainment, politics, sports and athletics. I'm more familiar with movies and entertainment, so we'll go with that. Okay. Now, generate celebrity. Generate celebrity. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, we got to pick. Oh, we got a photo. Oh, I know who that is. That's Patty Hilton, heiress to the Hilton hotels. Known for a special night, a one night in Paris, if you will. Also, she had that reality TV show with Nicole Richie. Yes, wow, Nicole Richie. Yeah, going back to Paris. You know, well, that was an easy one. You know, that was too easy. That was too easy. We're gonna go with number 2. Easy. Okay. Let's generate another one, you know? These are the things we should be generating, you know? Forget power and electricity. These celebrities are the light that will shine into your homes. These are the type of generations, guys. These are the generators of power, you know? Generate celebrity. Ooh, what do we got here? What do we got here? Oh, these are too easy. This is Julia Roberts, you know? Miss, was it Confidentiality? No, that's Sandra Bullock, isn't it? You know, she plays, hooker, you know? She plays a hooker. The modern version, if you will. Oh my god, it's blank. Julia Roberts movie, Hooker, you know? What is it called? What is it called? Pretty Woman, yes. And then now we have the Anora. Different retelling, if you will. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts is like, she has like a certain. She reminds me of like an elementary school teacher. You know, like you're hot for as a young lad. Because she has like that mom type of feel, but also like she has like the figure of someone where you're like, oh my god, I wonder what type of like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but she's like a different type of hot. She's not like Paris Hilton hot, you know. Paris Hilton is everybody's seen her, you know. There's no mystery there with Patty, but we all like her. We all love her. She's like funny, you know. She had like that series with Nicole Richie. What was it called? Country Mouse and City Mouse. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. What was it called? What was the show called? There was that The Simple Life. Yes. You know, you got these like two debutantes, you know, these two incredibly privileged young ladies doing what normal peasants do, if you will. And then you see them, oh my god, this is too much. And it was a good concept of a show, when it came out in 2000. It was 2006, was it, when it came out? No, I'm wrong. When did The Simple Life go? But anyways, going back to Julia Roberts, you know, yeah, she's very different. Very different than, I mean, Julia Roberts is like an actress, you know? She's been doing it for so long. Patty Hilton was sort of on. She was, well, not. I mean, it was Pamela Anderson who came out with like the sex tape long before that one. Yeah, was it Pam? Yeah, it was Pamela Anderson. But Perry though was a little different, just because Pamela was already an actress. Patty was, yeah, she's like the daughter of. She was just like a really rich kid, sort of just going out and about, and got like she showed us how you can become famous without like having to become like not through like the Hollywood, like tunnel, if you will, like not going through like the Hollywood channel of having to like you gotta act, you gotta build like a resume of doing this series, this show, whatever, whatever. She was just like, I'm gonna do a sex tape. Yeah, and Kardashians sort of followed suit as well. Which is kind of strange because they're not porn stars, you know? Like Paris and Kim aren't. Paris isn't a porn star, which is so funny. Because like porn stars, they don't become famous the way she does. She just sort of made one. I guess it's because she already was famous. Like, well, she wasn't famous. Like, she wasn't like a household. People didn't know who she was. I'm pretty sure most people didn't. Just because she's like the daughter of the Hilton. Like, she comes from money, obviously, but her parents aren't like celebrities. They're business moguls. Like they own like a chain of hotels. Like that everybody uses. Hmm. But she is sort of media. She's a media personality now. I guess porn stars too. I mean, what am I saying? Yeah, they kind of porn stars are media personalities. Well, some of them are. Yeah, they really are too, aren't they? Because they're still media. A lot of them have personalities too, in order to like gain attention. Yeah, but she doesn't fall under the category of a porn star. Like that isn't just her bread and butter, if you will. She sort of used it to leverage into like other things, and then Kim sort of saw the same thing and did the same. Yeah, Petty. Perry's, yeah, she's an interesting one too. Yeah, that's a smart gal. Definitely a smart gal. Because she's hyper aware of where she is in life. And she takes advantage of it. Because like some people because the thing is like you can come from that background, but it doesn't necessarily mean you leverage it just because maybe you feel like you don't have to, or maybe you don't fully understand like how to use it in a way where it would like benefit you the same way like she was able to like really see, oh, like I'm like the daughter of these like you know incredibly successful Hilton hotel owners or whatever, and then she's like, you know what, like maybe I should use the fact that I'm like this girl who is very privileged and just like lean into that like character. Yeah, I feel like I've done a number, guys. I think I should move on. I mean, I did Paris Hilton, Julia Roberts, and you'll notice how I just didn't even transition. I just sort of just cut all that stuff out, which is I feel like I've divulged, not divulged. I've dug enough. Maybe one more celebrity, guys. Let's see. We had, what was it? Is it Jennifer Gardner? What's her name? Ah, I can't. Look at that. I'm not even good. I got it the first time. What's her name again? Nicole Paris. Julia Roberts. Yes, that's it. So Julia Roberts was was the second one. Paris Hilton was the first. Julia Roberts. Now Sonny. Her name is now Sonny. What do I sound like? I sound like Muhammad Ali. Now Sonny's Julia Roberts. What do we got here? Hold on. Oh, another seller. Give us some tongue action, Sonny. That is amazing. That gets all the women, okay, to just pursue an education, you know, and then contribute to society, you know, and set an example for other young girls all around the world. This type of tongue action. But anyways, random celebrity generator. What do we got? Let's see. Maybe the last one should be a guy. So we had Julia. No, it was Paris Hilton, Julia Roberts, Julia Roberts, Sonny, Julia Roberts. Now, Sonny. That's about now, Sonny. Julia Roberts. Now, she's quite an actor, Sonny, and I would say she's a top tier performer. Julia Roberts. What do we got here? Random. We'll go with male. Oh, yeah, male. Sports and politics. Sports and no, movies and entertainment's better. These are the entertainers, if you will. Oh, what do we got here? This guy's bald with glasses. Oh, I don't know who this is. Oh, do I know who this is? I'm gonna guess. Jason Statham? I'm wrong. This is Heston Blumenthal. I said celebrity, not chef. You know? Unless this guy's like a famous, he's from the UK. Heston Blumenthal? That really rolls off the tongue there, eh? Heston Blumenthal. Let's see who that is. Let's see. Paste. Heston. Charlton Heston, Sonny. Charlton Heston. He's like a celebrity chef. Ah, I see. And he's on this show. What is it? What's it called? Big Chef? Best Chef. Ah, it's like a UK reality TV show. Oh, so he's like the UK version of like, but isn't Gordon Ramsay also English? Yeah. What is it like with our infatuation and just angry? Well, Jamie Oliver really isn't angry, is he? He's like more of a... Nah, Jamie Oliver was a bit of a... He had a bit of a temper on him too. I guess it really does get hot in the kitchen. Oh! Vote. Yeah. Heston, oh, he's bipolar. I thought TV was talking to me. I thought the TV was talking to him. Oh, wow. Yeah, it sounds like you might be losing touch with reality there. Yeah, the TV. Wait, he thought the TV was talking to him? But it's not, I mean, the people on the television are talking, but he thought his TV was actually talking. Oh, I see. You ever do that though? You just like talk to like a camera all day or like a screen and you're essentially just talking to yourself. Yeah, these are probably the most intimate conversations I have with anybody. You guys really are getting like a window, if you will, into Sonny's inner life. Not all of it though. Well, most of it. Oops, not all of it though. There are some things I'm not even aware of. Yeah. Heston Blumenthal. So he was... Oh, wow. He got hospitalized. Oh, wow. He got committed. Book a table. Greatest discussion. Bipolar, right? Makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, the anger, this guy, he's very passionate, I'm assuming. A lot of energy. I feel like a lot of people who are in that field you're probably, but yeah, you're burning the candle at both ends, eh? Top of that, you're a reality TV show. Like you're on a reality TV show. Point How to Cook Life. Yeah, hope this guy recovers. Well, I mean, you don't really recover from that. You just sort of manage, guys. Manic highs and lows. Yeah. So he's the official ambassador for Bipolar UK. I wonder if he has number 1 or 2. If he probably has like number 1. I mean, if he's on reality, if he's like doing all this stuff, he's probably got the good one. Now you're probably thinking, what's the good one? The good one is where you feel like you're God, you know? The second one is just like more depression than mania. Yeah. Heston Blumenthal. Well, that's the third guy. Okay. Well, there you have it. You know, this is what segment with this? What are we dealing with this? What are we doing? Oh, do I know you? Do I know you? Buttholes.